Hey everybody, it's Alleged Actually. We are here today on Thursdays for our recap of Married at First Sight. I'm Sherry.
And I'm Bria. This is
And
Alleged
welcome.
Actually again.
Absolutely. Welcome back, guys. I don't know if you guys watched last night. I hope so because y'all, there is so much to unpack here. We are ready, child. We have been preparing. We're ready to spill all that tea and recap it just for you guys. So, first off, one thing I need to do before we get into the episode, I promised my daughter Bria
Yes, she did.
that I would give her a list of the successful Black couples that have been united on Married at First Sight. So, as promised, I have my list, so bear with me. And these are some of my faves, guys. So this is like cool to like bring them back up. Shout out to them all. Okay. First up, we have Jeff DePierre and Shawnice Jackson from season 6. They have a beautiful little girl. Start off rocky. They are still together, holding on strong. We also have Christine Killingsworth and Keith Dewar from season 8. Black
Okay.
and in love.
Okay.
Then we go on to season 9, child. We have Deanne McNeil and Gregory Okotie. They were from Charlotte. I remember them very well. And they have a little boy named Declan doing amazing. We'll go right on down to season 11 with Mr. Woody Randall and Miss Amani Aaliyah with their little son, Rain, doing great. And then last but let's not be least, Brianna Miles and Victor Morales from season 12. And they have a daughter, Ari Bella. Point.
That's beautiful.
A.
It's unfortunate that it's overshadowed by all of the awful treatment that darker skinned women have gotten on this show. But that's awesome. And I love that. Good job, Mom, for finding that.
Did. And at least 2 of those women are of a fairly darker hue. So let's be clear. When it's right, it's right. When it's right, it's right. And then I can give you a list of the white ones that have suffered the same thing. I just think the experts get it wrong sometimes, but I digress.
Okay. Sometimes not right. Seems like a lot of times, but okay.
We'll dive deeper in that for maybe an aside where we just talk about the mechanics of the show. But for today, guys, last night was epic. We have lots to talk about. So we're going to get right on into it. Child, listen. The way we're going to do this is we're going to kick it off with each couple. And we're going to start off tonight with Becca and Austin. But you have to know that with Becca and Austin comes the conglomerate of all the couples coming together at their place. So we kick it off with them playing a cute little card game that Austin's mom taught him and that they are indulging in and she's learning. But what we get there is a glimpse into that sexual tension. It's like every word that he said seemingly kind of like set her off in a sexual frustrated way. So what is starting to rise up here with Becca and Austin is she is a little frustrated in the fact that they have not consummated their marriage. And also that she's not sure why not. Okay. However, we both know Becca's a good sport and she plays along. So they finish that, and the next thing you see in their scene is they go grocery shopping because they are preparing for all the couples to come together to share where they are in the process. Let me just say this, Bria. Why I really enjoy this season, and at first, I've said it was a slow burn. But let me tell you why I enjoy it. You and I talked about the fact these couples are highly emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Their communication skills are on point. Like the stuff that they dive deep into and acknowledge and affirm each other in And
aside from Brennan's like the only one.
aside from
But
Brennan,
aside from
Brennan is
Brennan,
an
everybody
emotional
else.
infant. He is not there. Okay. But we're getting to Brennan. We will get to them last. Um, it's impressive to watch. It is almost like, again, I said, and I've said this before, I love these shows because with everything from the, experts who are psychologists, therapists that come through, with the fact that these couples are inclined, and even their friends, to really dive deep into the dynamics of why we do what we do in relationships and where we are and why it's not growing, is amazing. And it really is enlightening to watch. These couples do a really good job of expressing themselves, communicating with the group, and sharing. So I like that a whole lot, right?
Yes. Yes, very self-aware. I will say that for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Very, like you said, affirming, just in tune. And yes, that's very refreshing this season, especially coming from Nashville, where
Yes. Where it was one cast
it
member
was
that
not.
rallied the whole group that seemed to like puppet them to talk. It was just not okay. It was,
Yeah, and yeah, that wasn't fun to watch. But yeah, Becca and Austin, of course, I said last time I think that she's way too agreeable. I still think that there's something off with Austin. And of course, you want you don't want to jump in the bed right away. You don't want to look like a horn dog, but this is only a 6-week or 8-week process.
it is.
Taking it slow and, trying to build up that it gives a cause for pause, because this is a 6 to 8 week process.
Yeah.
And by what did they say it was on, like day 20?
It goes all the way from 27 to day 29. So we're like halfway in the process.
Yeah.
If it was 6 weeks, it generally is 6 weeks.
Exactly. And so if we're talking about being halfway through the process and like nobody's consummated their marriage, I mean, but it just, and this is the couple that you would expect to,
Because they're getting along so
get
well.
along very well.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, it's cause for pause, and there is some tea of why, maybe. It could now. We'll save that for the end. So stay tuned.
Okay.
But
All right.
but yes, I do. I think that he is trying to bide his time. I mean, even the way where, like, when in their therapy session, where he was like, he kissed her, but he was like rubbing her beanie like a dog almost.
He was.
Remember that? Like it
I
was.
do.
It was
very
strange.
odd.
It was very strange.
It was very odd.
I'm just. I think he's trying to like trying to stay romantic, but also trying to friend zone her.
Keep his distance.
Right. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it for her. They have that. I mean, that's where I'm at. I don't think that they're going to say yes on decision day. And that's aside from the tea. It just seems like the man is surface level. I don't want to look like a bad guy. She's a nice enough girl.
Yeah.
Just do the experiment, have fun. I'm not trying to, nah, not after this. So that's what I'm getting. And I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so Becca, you're a smart girl, sis. Yeah. She has her concerns, and she's not as vocal as she should be about them, a little bit, but she needs to come forward more. And when we said about how they're communicative, and they are, but Becca holds back because her hope is if she's patient, it's going to come. Well, My thoughts and theories are this. And this is what frustrates me sometimes with Married at First Sight.
Mm.
You mean to tell me that you're all the way married? That's your wife, that's your husband. I get it, it's new. I am not by any means saying that simply because you sign up for this experiment that you're going to hop into bed together. But my point is, this keeps happening season to season, and particularly for the guy's perspective. And I'm like,
And
when
here's
a
the
guy
also,
yeah.
right. And, you know, men, they can get it in with any, I mean, they don't care. They don't have to be
Exactly.
it's a hole is a hole. My thing is, because I don't know. When his mom was up there, like I mentioned before, that was very telling. It just was. And so see, like, you know, hearing what she said, and then, you know, to him now where he's this, it seems like he's just this really sweet guy who's attentive and, you know, who's just I think the other foot is going to drop on the next episode and something is going to pop off. But I don't, he's not attracted to her. He wants to look like the good guy on camera and he'll kiss her, make out with her, all of that to appease her enough. But he don't want to go there with her.
I know. And that's what I'm trying to say. Becca's a smart girl. In her heart, she knows it.
She knows.
She doesn't want to say it. Mm-hmm. She knows it. You can see in her eyes that she is not fully on board with what he tells her. Like, she doesn't believe it because actions speak louder than words, right? Mm-hmm. They always do. All I can say is we'll keep tuning in for them. I mean, listen, the religion thing is a thing. Okay, we talked about that last week, and we'll talk about it a little bit more as we get into this episode. But
the fact that his friend said that it was never brought up in their friendship, and he is atheist.
Correct.
Come on now.
So I'm gonna have to go with he's just not that into you, man. Mm-mm. Here we freaking go again.
And that's like I said, if somebody says that they have because I'm sure it'll come out in the end where Austin says to the or at the, you know, reunion, whatever, where he says, I had a type. Mm-hmm. I asked to be matched with that type. I didn't get that type. And I feel like that's a recurring theme with these men. It's like they're asking and requesting, hey, this is what I'm attracted, this is what I usually go for. And I know that, you know, who you end up with normally isn't who you go for.
Right.
However, in an experiment like this, where like it's such a short amount of time to get to know somebody, men are visual.
They are.
Women, like I said, we're more auditory. Like, we fall in love with what we hear, they fall in love with what they see. Mm-hmm. And so if you're putting already like this man with someone that he's like, I literally told you this is what, like, why even ask me what my preference is if you're not gonna get anywhere close to it. And I think they make a point of doing that way more than they should. Agreed. And it's like, at least get it in the realm of what they're wanting, or like I said, move on to the next candidate. Because this isn't what this experiment is about. It shouldn't be about, you know, shallowness and, you know, and it is ruining the mental health. Anyway, we'll get into that going.
Because we will. But my thing is this, and this is where the premise is supposed to go. And this is not the only show that does this. We have other shows on different networks that do a similar thing. Because the premise is that what you think you want may not be what you need, right? Mm-hmm. And so that part I get. What I have a problem with is sometimes if someone blatantly says, I don't like this or I particularly like that, and you just go all it, then you're going to cause problems.
Like the
And
opposite.
there is a element of politeness, of not wanting to look bad on camera. All those elements come into this show, and it has for seasons upon seasons upon seasons. The thing is, when are we going to get real? And like what I want, and it's hard because who wants to come off looking like the bad guy or the bad girl? But we have seen them, and I've respected them. I've said it many times because sometimes it couldn't have been me. Could not be me, child.
Right.
Listen, but I get it. These are human beings, right? You don't want to disrespect them. You don't want to make them feel less than just because they're not your type of hype. I get it. Anywho, we're gonna dive more into that toward the end. But let's get into the episode. So again, Beck and Austin go to the grocery store to prepare themselves to have all the couples come to the home. Okay. What is very interesting is they don't seem to know that Lauren and Orion have decided to divorce.
Right.
So I guess they weren't keeping in touch, but okay. Everybody had their issues. Understandable, right?
Mhm.
So all the couples come. So you have Claire and Cameron, you have Emily and Brennan, of course, Beck and Austin, who is hosting, and they know Lauren is coming, but it is uncertain if Orion is coming. And everybody brings a dish, which was nice. So let's set up the scene, Bria, shall we?
Let's.
Hmm. So the couples arrive and they're sitting there with their little smorgasbord of food. Miss Lauren comes in. She sits down and she brings her contribution, and they're all sitting there together. Very supportive because they are a supportive group. I love that about them.
Yes.
In walks Mr. Orion with a smorgasbord of desserts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We kick it off with where are we all at in the process? They ask Lauren and Orion, have they moved in? They're informed.
And you know what I think about that? Just a little aside. I don't think that. I think that the producers told them to ask that because there's no way they didn't. Anyways, continue. But
I don't know. They all reside in the same apartment complex, but each one of them had their own housewarmings to do, their own friend thing to meet, their own things to do. I mean, I don't know. And you're right, probably. But
yeah.
that's what's at. And Lauren proceeds to let them know that in fact, no, they did not move in together, and that Orion asked her for a divorce. Okay. She obviously is still devastated because when you go around the room, they all talk about their struggles because it's not perfect for not one couple in the building, right? So you have Claire and Cameron that are having struggles with intimacy, attraction on her part, him feeling like it's ever going to change. You have Beck and Austin with the same thing, the romantic attraction, the religious aspect of it. You have Emily and Brennan, no attraction. Things change from the honeymoon to the actual when they went to move in, the disconnect, the lack of communication, the misunderstanding of where they're even at. So what Lauren starts to see is, though these couples are not perfect either, they have chosen to stick it out and see if it gets better, which I'm sure was a gut punch, correct?
Of course. She even made a comment about it. And she was very strategic in how she said her comment too. Like, oh, so, y'all chose to work it out and didn't give up. Like, and it's like she kept, you know what she was doing. But it needed to be said because
Well,
you
let me
see
just
all
say
of them
this.
are going through adversity. And I mean, if you, I'm not saying, stay in a relationship where you feel like you would just like drag the person along and, you're just in it for the, that's not what I'm saying. However,
No.
she sees that, hey, they have issues. They're still together and they're trying to work through them. I wish that could have been my reality.
Right. And what really ticked me off about this particular scene, you see each couple, look at them in this just the most concerned and compassionate way.
Yes.
But when you look at Orion, he has this
Blank.
"Hmm, well, it's the fairy like thing. And I'm not saying, so I'm not calling him fairy guy. So please don't take that. When I say that, I mean, he has this very airy, light aura about him. Like,
Mhm.
oh, life is great. This is just what I decided. It just doesn't work for me. That comment, I couldn't get past it. When reality is, I would have loved to see him get a little more real.
Yeah.
Gosh, he deserves better than that.
Yes.
I
I mean,
mean, yeah.
like what was, and it's because what really irritates me is that you'll have someone who really wants this. And I mean, and then you'll pair them with someone who's, just a free spirit. Like, I go wherever the wind blows. If the earth feels right at this axis or something, this is when I should, like, you know what I'm saying? They play
Mhm.
with people way too much up here. And it's like, why?
Agree.
It just does
And
not make any sense.
and
And
don't get me wrong. Um, I subscribe to the fact that Lauren did make some mistakes. We talked about that in episodes in the past, right?
yes,
However, she sincerely apologized. If you
right.
really wanted that marriage to work, that could
And
have
I
gone.
really,
It could have been gotten
it
past.
could have. And you know what? I went back and watched the first couple episodes, and he admitted that he used the N word when he was younger. And so it's
Mhm.
like, you expect the world to forgive your ignorance,
Right.
but God, let the fire rain down on her for hers. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. And furthermore, proves the point that he just wanted an out. He wanted an angle, he wanted an out, and he saw it and he took it. That is
Period. Point
exactly.
blank. That's what it was. And my thing is, I would respect him so much more because I
If you
think
would
it would
just
take
say
the
it.
guilt off her
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watched after the group setting was party was done, the way that she collapsed on that floor, it was so sad,
Heartbreaking.
very heartbreaking. I feel like she carries the weight of it on her shoulders as if, gosh, I wish I hadn't said that. Maybe things would have been different. And no, ma'am, they wouldn't have.
Mm-mm.
Lauren, understand this. It wouldn't have been different. He
No.
was
He
not into
was something
you. He was
else.
looking for anything, a way out. That's not what he wanted. So, ma'am, it is not you. You're a beautiful Black queen. He did not want to be married to you. He was not into you. So I really feel like as much as you guys had those beautiful, fluffy words about I feel safe, you make me feel this, da 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 da, checking in. He knew the right things to say. He just wasn't feeling you.
Right.
So respect that and get over him. You
Right.
didn't really do anything wrong. You said an ignorant comment, but he admitted to things that he said, and he wasn't perfect in the process either. And no
Exactly.
one will be. You're just getting to know these people, right?
Exactly. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's it, and that's the gamble that you take with interracial and intercultural relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just, like I said, I don't know what goes through their heads when they pick these people. And I mean, ratings, probably. But
Sure.
it just, I mean, dude is like one conversation with him, and you know that he's kind of off. and wouldn't take anything really seriously if it wasn't, if, like I said, if the water wasn't warm enough or the earth wasn't like rotating on the right plane. You know what I'm saying? Just like one with nature type stuff. And then, you know, lives with his mom. Like, there's so many red flags and things that tell you he is not ready to be a husband. Like, I don't. And
no, she's a boss baby.
Right.
Listen.
And it's like, why would you even do that? These women want to be married. They're ready. Right. And you're pairing them with these men that are just not.
They're not. They're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. Right. What I don't understand is the fact that, yes, it's a cute little celebration, but you legit are married. I mean, you have to get a real divorce. It's crazy to me. Ciao. All right, let's just put a pin here and say this. Yeah. Lauren and Orion, we are sorry it didn't work out. Orion, you're trash for that. Mm-hmm. You are. You know, I had high hopes. You know, you come across as this really likable guy, but the gaslighting that you did was just hard to watch. Yeah. She doesn't deserve it. She really was sorry. She would have done anything. Oh, God. She would have done anything to try to revive your relationship. You just was giving her dust, okay? Literal dust. So we're not here for you anymore. I hope you're not back on any other shows until the reunion, and then I hope you get roasted. My thoughts.
My thoughts are this. If you ever do see, like, if you see this by chance, call the producers, whoever, Lifetime, and tell them, hey, please don't air any more of my clips. I look bad enough. No one is going to want to touch me, date me, anything like that. Please stop airing them because I don't look good at all. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
So we're going to go from that night because, sadly, child Cameron resonated with crazy Orion. And it made him feel a type of way.
Okay.
What's going on over there to Claire and Cameron? All right. So when their scene opens, of course, they're going to revisit the issue with his father's health and the fact that it was only revealed in front of her friend that he did not feel ready to open up and give her that information. And then it was kind of, I'm certain, embarrassing that the first that she heard of it was in front of her friend. And her friend's name was Amy. His response, and we have to, I will give, okay, so let me just say this. I'm going to give Cameron a little break because, again, there is a cultural difference. He is from New Zealand. I don't know. You know, Americans, Europeans, and different, we're all different, okay? I don't know. But you have to understand, there's a very key dynamic between Claire and Cameron that is key, that is going to be their demise. It's family. Claire is very close to hers. Cameron doesn't seem to be.
Right.
It's not ever going to work, okay?
Can you give me like 1 second?
Certainly.
Yeah, your granddog is about to turn up and I can just tell that she is. Okay. So let me just...
All right. Yeah. And while she is handling the granddog, let me just say that Cameron comes and says, well, I felt like that there was no need for me to tell you. It came up when she questioned me, but that I've already grieved him. And that I did not feel like that it was important for me to tell him that I was doing this experiment because I didn't want the fact that he's on his deathbed that would cause his mental space to be impacted and or make him worse. Interesting.
Yes.
Claire is very emotionally intelligent. They both are, actually.
Yes.
That was a very weak response. It seems like he's left her out of something important. And that is certainly not how you want to start a marriage. So, Bria, your thoughts?
My thoughts. Now, I see both sides. I see that Claire is annoyed, frustrated that she's not getting this out of him, like, because she's a therapist, like I said, and she wants, it's not like she wants to therapize someone as soon as she gets from like doing that all day long. And when you can tell that someone is holding back a lot and just not really being forthright with what's going on in their lives, not going on like in their headspace, she's annoyed and frustrated. He, on the other hand, he is attracted to her. She is not really budging as much, and I know that she says that it's a hang up, but on the after party he admitted that off camera, she's like, I don't really want this like that. I want you to not sleep in this bed with me. Please go in the spare bedroom. Or if you could get out, that'd be better. Like if you could just leave, that'd be like so much better. And I see, but that's not a safe space to express that in and to be vulnerable and to be, it's just, it's not. And so, like I said last week, just two completely different people that had no business being matched. Like foundationally, mentally, it just was not a good match. I think that the experts matched them because Claire is a therapist and because he's so matter of fact and whatever. Yeah, dad's on his deathbed. Like that sucks. And but that shouldn't be her job.
No.
They should have already or they should have picked an already healed man that can work through those things himself. And I think that they matched them because she could help him. And that's not
her job in a new marriage.
That is an awful foundation for a marriage, to be fixing somebody as your foundation. That's shaky. No.
It is.
But yeah, I just, like I said, I don't think that I don't know what they were thinking, because doesn't he live in a basement too? Yeah. And so that's another one. Like, why are y'all, like I said, another case.
I don't know.
These women want to be married and they're matching them with men that you can tell within the first 5 minutes of speaking to them, you're not really ready, my guy. Like that's literally, I mean, I'm not seeing it.
I know. I think here's the thing, and I'm going to give Cameron some credit here. When he said he resonated with Orion, I was a little ticked, but I get it. Because if you're literally not getting what you want out of a relationship, then at some point you need to put yourself first.
You do.
I don't think Orion gave the relationship a chance. I know Cameron did. So I respect what that position is. I do. Because I don't know that Claire is going to come around either. I'm like you. I don't think she's attracted to him. It just is what it is. So let's be clear. Let's don't waste this man's time. I think she is attracted to his intellect as he is to hers. And that's okay. That's a connection as well. But he's attracted to his wife and she's just not at all. Okay. But let's talk about this because on this episode, Dr. Pia also comes to visit each one of the couples. Okay. So she does come. Um, and she pays them a visit. Um, basically, um, her takeaway is that for them to back away from the big stuff, like, they have the religion thing, they have the lack of intimacy thing. And she was like, back away from the big things.
Right.
And go back to the things that you enjoy. Work individually on having fun. Take the big stuff off and have fun together and be in the moment.
Exactly.
I don't know that I necessarily agree, and neither did Cameron.
Right. Because why?
Right. He didn't. And after that session is when he announces to her that I can sleep in the spare bedroom. She looked really shamed. But my thing is, girl, you're giving him nothing.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. On the after party, I mean, he literally airs it all out and saying that she was completely different on camera than she was off camera. She was completely repulsed off camera.
Oh, wow.
And on camera, it seemed like, okay, we can work with this. But off camera, she was like, no, sir.
Got it.
So, no, I don't know, because it was just his perspective and his point of view and everything.
Sure, maybe that's how he felt, but
yeah. So, but I'm inclined to believe it because he did. He's attracted to her. You can tell. He wants to be. I mean, she's a pretty lady. She is
very pretty,
and she does not feel the same. You can tell that feeling is not reciprocated, and that is hard. That's a blow to her ego for sure. And so, where do we go from here? Is what he's trying to ask her, and she's not giving a concrete answer because she does not want to say no. But he wants her to say no because off camera, you ain't got no problem saying it. Right. So say it on camera, please, so that I can go on my way like Orion did.
That way. That part.
And that's
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do for Claire and Cameron, my thoughts are it's not gonna work.
I said it last week, not gonna work. Nope.
Sure did. And I had higher hopes. My bad. A little bit more optimistic than my daughter. Who knew?
Definitely are. Definitely
I am. All right. So are we going to move to Emily and Brennan? Are we going to circle back to Beck and Austin to talk about Dr. Pia's visit with them?
Let's circle back to Becca and Austin.
All right. So we're going to go head on over to Miss Emily and Mr. Brennan. Okay, so their episode starts out with she apologized again for her friends. She basically reassures him and reaffirms him that she is on his side and that she will always be on his side, that she will not ride for them coming for her man, which seemed to be a plus, or so it seemed, and them connecting. So it seemed. Okay. Then she invited him to come to the gym where they did a Pilates workout with Pilates equipment. That seemed to be a nice bonding moment. He was there and he was participating. Yeah, I mean, it's a start.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, Bria, until we get to the Dr. Pia visit, and that's where we go. We really have to get busy.
No, it was a cute little moment that they had. I still, because I look at body language
Right.
always. He still seemed like he wasn't feeling her to me. He seemed like he had a good time at Pilates, probably because he was attracted to all the other women that were there, and not.
Oh,
No, I'm
Bria.
just like, look, don't.
Okay.
I'm just. This is my take. It can be a good take, a bad take. This is Bria's take.
It is.
So now, yes. So in that whole scene, I still not feeling her.
Got it.
He just wasn't. It was cute. It was a cute moment, but he was not feeling it. You can tell.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, they get back to the apartment, and they wait for the expert, Dr. Pia, to come stop by. Child, let me just tell y'all something. I have never been, well, that's a lie, because there are seasons that I want to come right through the TV. This is a moment on this season that I kind of want to come through the TV again. Honey, Dr. Pia comes to visit to chat with them about where they are in their relationship and how she can help. Listen, y'all. So basically, it comes up again about his lack of romantic attraction to Miss Emily. Um, she tries to get down to the bottom of it. Because here's the thing, and let's be clear. Emily is at the place. He keeps saying, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that on camera. I'm not going to do her like that. I'm not. But dude, by not saying it, you're saying it. And where Dr. Pierre was going with that is, if there is a block or something you're turned off by, just say it. What is it? Maybe she can help you get past it. Maybe it was something she said or did that she was unaware of. Like, open your mouth. Man, this dude, in my opinion, Dr. P is a good one because it couldn't have been me. Listen, then she stops trying to talk to him because clearly that's not going anywhere. And she tries to get Emily's take on, are you good with him being frank with you? Because we need to be honest to get down to it. Which she clearly was. And he kept interrupting. Oh, no, we're not doing this. No, this is my way. No, we're not going to put her in that position. And I'm like, okay, there's another situation here. Your thoughts, Bria?
Controlling, a control freak. He wants to control the situation. And what I really, and this is another thing I can't stand about this show, is the therapist. Y'all know what this looks like. You're trained. You know exactly what this is. This is not somebody being protective over their wife. This is somebody trying to manipulate and control the situation. And you know that. Stop putting these people through mental trauma and turmoil because you want good ratings. Stop. You can see this girl is struggling right now. She doesn't know what to think. She's confused. Because she's like, okay, well, if a therapist is saying this, but I know what I'm feeling, this isn't this is somebody trying to be protective over his own image, his own feelings, not over me.
Through that.
So, I mean, when I say it's like the therapists do it, the people that they choose to, the candidates, like their significant others, because you know better. Yeah, you know better.
Yeah. I mean, she knew what she was looking at. I mean, that was clearly
narcissistic
behavior.
Right. If I know what I'm looking at and I'm not anybody's licensed anybody, you should know what you're looking at, ma'am.
My thoughts would be, get out, sis. Go.
Right.
Go and go quick.
Don't you dare let no therapist or no man gaslight you. What was that?
Absolutely not. Because he certainly is not all that. And I mean, let's just say this. Ma'am, look. Him protecting you is protecting himself. That's a lie. So read through his dumb clues of him just wanting to spare himself from looking like the Jack Fleet that he is.
And you're
Listen,
a smart girl. You're a smart
she's
girl.
a smart girl.
You wanted to play up that dumb blonde look in the beginning,
Now,
but we know you now. We know you're not stupid.
she
We know.
actually, to have never been in a real relationship, understands what entails when it becomes clearer than him. And my thing is, how so?
Exactly.
To understand that there needs to be communication and whatever. So let's just get down to it. You know, he cut up.
Andy.
And then, yeah. So really, Dr. Pia couldn't get much in there other than I think you both need to do individual therapy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her recommendation. She leaves, and he then decides, I don't need to do therapy because I don't have any emotions for you. So what am I going to talk about? I don't have anything for you. Wow.
Let's usher in a
Bria.
new red flag. Let's usher it in.
Red, neon red.
Jesus.
Really?
Someone that doesn't even want that, like, is opposed, appalled that you would even make that recommendation to them, saying that they've never cried since second grade. Therapy.
Issues.
That means that you need therapy, sweetheart. You've never cried
big time.
since second grade. That means that something is stuck, because I know you've experienced
Emily, run.
The small age of 7 until however, 30 or about
At
to be,
least.
or whatever close to.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like
that's insane.
It's totally insane. Run, ma'am, run. Really,
Please.
Sincerely.
Because
that man child is not
yeah.
healed from that 7-year-old little boy, which is why he can't give you anything. He has nothing to give you.
What can a 7-year-old boy do? Like, I mean, he's a man physically, and but mentally he's stuck and arrested that 7-year-old little boy that cried and then felt like he couldn't for the rest of his life.
Right. Emily, you deserve better.
You do. Girl, go.
Yeah. For real.
Run far away.
As far as you can, ma'am. Please. Get to running. Moving on. We're going to circle back to Beck and Austin. They too had a visit with Dr. Pia.
They did.
Oh, y'all. I'm going to just give you this. There wasn't a whole lot. She thought there was a great connection with them, and it does appear that way, right? It certainly does.
Mm-hmm.
But Becca does state that he's moving at a slower pace than she's used to. And it goes back to what Bria says with her being agreeable. She's really not stating what she really feels. She's frustrated. She's trying to see if it changes. Austin says he's someone that takes his time. And Dr. Pia asked why, because it looks like the connection is there. So what's the taking the time part about? He cannot answer it.
Right. You start to see him struggle for a minute. And I mean, like, looking side to side, like,
so foolish.
Bad.
Big time.
He struggled. And, of course, yes. And of course, they give the generic answer, like, well, I mean, I'm open to, I'm open. And it's like, Becca on the other side is like, well, why haven't you made that? Why haven't you vocalized that to me? We've had plenty of opportunity to do X, Y,
Becca continuously tries to have, right. Not trying to overtalk you, Bria. Becca continuously tries to have those hard conversations with him. He doesn't want to. He wants to stay surface. Yes. I think Dr. Pia was trying to figure out why that is, because everything on top, which again, surface, looks amazing, right?
Yes.
So
that's why he wants it.
Right. She asked her, has she expressed to him her feelings and her needs? And she says yes. he comes back as if it's the first time he's heard it. And oh God, no, I mean, I don't have a problem making out with you. I'll kiss you, this, that, and the third. Lies. 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 Really, Bria?
Right. We all saw how, like I said, how ready she is to jump out of the films. We see it. I mean, literally, it's not, she wants them bad. Like,
But to be fair,
Go ahead.
But to be fair, that's the next step in solidifying her marriage. I mean, she is not 1000% convinced that he wants her. And if they took that next step, that would give her maybe a little bit more assurance that this marriage is in fact going to work. That's a big component of marriage. It is. It's not the only, but it is. You want to know that your man's attracted to you. And so here we go again, child.
Here we go freaking again.
And we can get into the whole mental health aspect of it. Because that's pretty much the gist of how the episode went. Now, what I really like to dive into is, you're right, it hasn't just been women, it's been men that's always been gaslighted too, and that has been treated horribly. That because I remember the Gil that, oh God, yeah, he was a big, beautiful man. It just listen. The problem with these shows are, like you said, you have one partner that really wants sincerely a spouse.
Yes.
I have another partner that either A, wants to be on TV, B, thinks they want one, but don't realize that this is a real marriage and it's final, unless you get a divorce. Or C, gets in something they're just genuinely not attracted to and can't find the vocabulary and deflect it out in different ways.
Right. Right. And more often than not, the C category has expressed their type to the producers, experts, whoever. And, you know, of course, because here's the thing with me too. I am also a very visual person. If there is not a single thing on you that I find attractive, I can't. I cannot. When I say there cannot do it. Can't. And so when these men or even women, when they're matched with someone who is on the exact opposite of what they've expressed that they've wanted, I mean, that is a recipe for disaster and high viewership. And I mean, that's like, and it seems like before, there were maybe 3 or 4 solid couples and one that was a shit show. Now you make it painfully obvious that this is what you just want a complete shit show.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just wish we could go back to the times where this was an actual experiment. You're trying to see if it works, and you're not blatantly trying to boost ratings.
Agreed.
That's what I mean. I at least don't make it so daggone obvious.
I agree. No, totally.
Because now, I mean, we all see it. I mean, you're matching people with, like I said, cultural differences, religious differences, men that stay with their moms and live in basements, men that, I mean, you can have hat collections and that you can tell just are not all there. Like a 5-minute conversation with any of these people, we can tell this man or woman is not ready for marriage.
They're not ready. Yeah.
This woman or man wants to be on TV. This woman, I mean, it's just like if we as the viewer can see it within a whatever 30-minute whatever segment. I mean, when you're interviewing that person one-on-one and like you're an expert and you know how body language and all of you know this.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're like, right now you're playing in my face. And I don't appreciate, Mom, you know, I don't appreciate people playing in my face.
She does not, y'all. My daughter does not appreciate people playing in her face. Even as her mother, we don't do that. Not over here. So I concur. But let's just put a pin in that and say that this experiment has gone Hollywood. And that we're still going to tune in just to see, because there are some couples that make it through the chaos. I just announced a few. And maybe next week I'll announce a few more.
Sure.
Right. I mean, it works.
No, and then we're going to do, because, you know, I'm a math girl. I like my math. I'm going to do a ratio.
And you should. I will challenge you to do so.
Yes, we're going to see if this experiment really is working as effectively.
Let's just be clear, it's probably not. But let's just talk about. I mean, there are some.
And I'm going to put some controls on the experiment here. I'm going to put it from maybe season 1 to season 10, because everything after was clearly attention you know, we're doing this for ratings. So I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair and start from the first 10 seasons.
Be fair, because in the beginning it really was. It was legit, really, an experiment that could have go either way, and that was not to be predicted. That was the part of watching it, right?
Right.
The idea was, could you get married at first sight if both of you guys were on the same page? It's the same thing as Love is Blind. I mean, there's so many multiple shows that are like that, right? Because that's a real thing. If two people are on the same page and they want the same things, could you make it work? Sure, some have. So that's the thing. But we're going to put a pin here and we're going to end this one today and just say, guys, keep tuning in. There's more to talk about, child.
Ooh,
I don't know what's going to happen.
Wait, because I still have tea. I still have the tea. Okay.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. Bria has
a little tea. I know.
Hot tea.
Okay. So, word on the street is that a producer was fired for hooking up with one of the contestants on the show.
Really?
And there is speculation that it is either Austin or Brennan.
Interesting. Now that is some good hot piping tea, because that would explain a few things. Really, it would. Particularly in Brennan. Perhaps Austin too.
I don't know. Something's off with
something is amiss. All right. Well, okay. Thank you for that, Bria.
Welcome.
We're going to dive deeper in that, and we're going to bring you some more receipts next week.
Absolutely.
So, closing remarks, Brika? Brika.
Don't do that.
Brika with the tea. Brika with the tea.
Closing remarks. Therapists and experts, please get your stuff together. I know that right now y'all are finished with God, what is that? I don't know. Y'all are finishing up in Austin now, Austin, Texas. After that, because I know y'all on some stupid mess still, and I know that we're going to see even more crazy stuff because this hasn't even, you know, finished airing, and I know that y'all are just going to make it worse. After you get done with Austin, I need you to like really go back to square one and start with your, because you're making it way too obvious at this point. And it's honestly disgusting the way that you are playing with people's mental health and their self-esteem, their self-worth, all of that. Get it together. That's all.
Agreed. I'm with you, Bria. And I'm saying that, you know, people's mental health is a big deal. Rejection is hard. It's not warranted when you sign up for something, when you ask someone to pair you with your perfect match and it happens. Even when you pick your own match and it may not work out. We get it. But it seems to be happening more than it should. So I'm with you, Bria. I stand with you there. And we're going to keep coming back. And we're going to keep recapping the show. And we're going to keep giving you guys our opinions and diving deeper into this experiment and these couples. It's actually a very good season. So guys, those of you that haven't tuned in, go back and watch. Go back and watch our episodes recapping. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. I always like to say again, thank you to everyone that has subscribed, liked, and shared. Thank you. Thank you for making our dream come true. We ask that if you're viewing this, take 1 second and hit that subscribe button for us, please, and like it. Because we're going to keep coming back and giving you that tea. Yes. Keep recapping these shows. We'll be back on Saturday. This one will be our last one we'll take a few days off for the holidays, and then we'll be back. But come back Saturday when we do our pop culture segment. So, you know, we have a lot of tea in the pop culture street. It's so much going on, guys. You're going to want to come back. We got a lot to tell you. It's crazy. Trust me. We've been doing our research. Yeah. So you want to come back. But thank you for coming tonight and talking or letting us give you our thoughts on Married at First Sight Denver. Come on back Saturday, and I promise you won't be sorry. So from Alleged Actually, we're going to say good night.
Night.
Keep coming back. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yes, please keep coming back so I don't have to work at my job that I can't stand. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Bye.
Bye.